We live in a twilight world. Today we're going to do a quick presentation on the Battle of Kiev, the so-called Battle of Kiev, and I'm going to show you some smoking guns, man. And yeah, we'll take a look at them. You see what you think. And for anyone that's new to my channel, or to my work, or to my content, I'm the guy that was walking around Kiev during the Battle of Kiev, showing you a very different reality to what the mainstream media in the West was showing you. Yeah. And I'll just give you a quick little recap of what we were getting projected via the Black Mirror. I've also got a coffee in my hand. So if you hear me slurping or burping, yeah, I'm drinking a coffee. Yeah, it's no frills here. This is all being recorded, sat in my car. Yeah, I'm not in a studio. I don't have a studio. I don't even have Wi-Fi in my house. I am low budget, lo-fi, quick, cheap and cheerful. I don't like spending time in front of a Black Mirror. My whole agenda is to try and convince you to not spend time in a Black Mirror. So these presentations are very thrown together. They're very quick. And I don't have a fancy microphone. I'm just literally got screen record on the iPad, the second-hand iPad that I've got. And yeah. So anyway, let's get to it. So Kiev, back in 2022, yeah, we were told that a huge force, they said 124,000. Yeah, they said 156 battalions. A battalion is roughly 800 to 1,000 personnel, had been tasked with capturing the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, in the 3-day special military operation to denazify and demilitarize Ukraine. Apparently 250,000 in total went into Ukraine, but 124,000, and this was supposed to be the most elite. So the Spetsnaz, which is like the equivalent to the SAS or Navy SEALs, and the 1st Motorized Brigade, which is the same as like the Parachute Regiment. Yeah, 124,000 of Russia's most elite troops had been tasked with taking the Battle of Kiev. Now, this is all allegedly. This is what we were told, yeah? So we were told they took Hostomel. Hang on, let me change to red. Red for the bad guys, isn't it? They took the Hostomel airport, and then they obviously done... This is what we're told. None of this is true, by the way. And obviously, Russia has 2,000 helicopters. They were airdropped in. But we were told that the initial force had successfully encircled the city, right? And that they were waiting for a huge column of tanks to come down from the north, from Belarus. If you remember the ridiculous story of the huge column of tanks, as far as I could see, they run out of fuel and were not able to get there, yeah? Absolutely ridiculous. The fact that one of the most oil-rich countries in the world, Russia, and whilst Russia is planning to take over a capital of a neighbouring country, somehow forgot to bring fuel for their tanks, is ridiculous. Anyone knows in the military, the strongest part of your military is logistics, and that means getting ammunition and fuel to your vehicles and your troops. Yeah? So that's complete bullshit. But we were told, as they were waiting for this huge column, that they were essentially just bombing the shit out of Kiev with artillery strikes and airstrikes, missile strikes, with also saboteurs and special forces running around, eliminating any sort of Ukrainian resistance within the city. I'm sure you remember like the stories of the Russian saboteurs that were murdering children in Kiev, and all this kind of shit. And we were obviously shown images of artillery strikes and missile strikes, all supposed to be from the capital, from the center. We were even shown footage of allegedly Russian soldiers and Ukrainian regular soldiers actually meeting in the middle of Kiev. All bullshit, all nonsense. None of that shit happened. This was purely a digital fiction shown to us via the Black Mirror, okay? But stuff obviously did happen. Yeah, the illusion of war was created. And as you'll know, I'm saying this was done by the Ghost Legion. Yeah, this would be the foot soldiers of the hidden hand. Yeah, of the deep state, of the reptilians, whatever you want to call them. That secret society, that secret organization behind organizations, behind all secret organizations that is manipulating humanity. Yeah, Ghost Legion or League of Shadows is another name I like to use for them. But you can call them whatever you want, you know. The Night Troopers, the Army of the Undead, the Faceless Men. I've gone through this in older videos, but yeah, call them what you want. But for now, we're just going to call them the 20th Legion or the Ghost Legion, the XX Legion. Yeah, the Ghost Legion. And, you know, my little symbol there is what I created. Yeah, you can see the hidden hand using the double cross system, manipulating men as puppets. The ghost itself coming out of the black cube and so on. The symbol is very self-explanatory, but that's my little symbol I created. And yeah, it's a play on the ghost army that was supposedly around in World War II. But if you think like Operation Gladio style, yeah, Black Ops, clandestine operations, covert operations, yeah, all this kind of stuff. So in regards to the Battle of Kiev, yeah, okay, there was not 124,000 elite Russian troops there, as we were told, but it's not like it's all fake and there was nothing going on whatsoever. Of course, like if you want to create the illusion of war, you have to blow shit up. Yeah, there has to be certain amount of evidence for people to film, right? You have to do a certain amount of smoke and mirrors. This is what I mean when I say smoke and mirrors. Yeah, you create an explosion in an empty building or an empty car park or an empty playground. It creates a big tower of smoke. The idea is that members of the public then film it on their mirror, their black mirror, their pocket TV, their smartphone, and then they unknowingly push the propaganda campaign that this is all real. We're talking the TikTok war, which is the new name that's been given to the idea that war is based upon, and the believability of a war is based upon how much coverage it gets now on social media, as opposed to back in the day when it was just your CNN war, when it was essentially left down to the mainstream media. But now, yeah, everyday normal people are unknowingly being a part of the problem with their obsession with being part of the panopticon reality and filming everything, all for likes and shares on social media. So that's what I mean when I say smoke and mirrors. Yeah, there's definitely, nothing was going on when I got there, but I imagine in day 1, 2, and 3 of the war, the Ghost Legion were calling in artillery strikes on empty buildings, empty car parks, empty playgrounds. Yeah, the rest was just theatricality. Yeah, smoke bombs, illumination rounds, and training rounds are essentially giant fireworks. So if you imagine day 1 and 2, the Ghost Legion would have done a few real artillery strikes, but for the remaining 10 days of the so-called Battle of Kiev, they would have just played sound effects like distant machine gun fire, distant helicopters flying around, distant jets in the sky, as well as air raid sirens. And now and again, they would have fired theatrical rounds, what I call theatrical rounds, smoke, illumination, and training rounds, which are giant fireworks, just in and around or over the heads of the city itself, basically to scare the shit out of people. Yeah? To psychologically fuck with the people of Ukraine to make them believe there's a real war going on. So now let me show you Exhibit A. So this is January the 18th, 2022. Yeah, this is my own photograph taken on my own camera. British troops sent to Ukraine. Fears Russian invasion just days away. Double cross. Let me zoom in for you. Defence Secretary warns of a very, very bloody war. Double cross. UK's high-tech weapons could target Putin's tanks and aircraft. Let me show you like a screenshot version from I pulled off the internet. So, you know, I talk about the double cross all the time. Yeah. Double cross, or the double cross system, and the double cross itself, to me, is the secret society behind all secret societies, behind all secret societies, the secret agency behind all secret agents, behind all secret agencies, behind all secret agencies. Yeah? The top of the pyramid, if you will, whereas all the other organizations that the conspiracy theory alternative truther movements think are running the show are merely at the bottom of the pyramid. Yeah, the puppets or heads of the hydra, but this is the belly of the beast. The double cross, 1010, tenant, forwards and backwards in time. Yeah, what people focus on, Mossad and the Jesuits and the black nobility and the CIA, all bullshit. Puppets at the bottom. At best, they are just useful idiots. That these guys in the middle are puppeteering them, and then, you know, the capstone at the top is puppeteering all of them, and so on. Yeah, I spoke about this in many videos. The double cross. I don't believe the top of the pyramid actually has a name. I don't believe they are human. I've just assigned this symbol to them because, well, from all of my kind of fucking around with reality, I've come to this. I don't actually believe that they walk around and call themselves the 20 committee or the 20 or the XX. But because only a fool would actually give a name to its organization, right? You wouldn't do that. That's a clown thing to do. That's the sort of level, bottom of the pyramid stuff, like the CIA, Jesuits, Freemasons, the black nobility and Mossad and Jesuits and whoever. The Committee of 300, that's the sort of thing they would do. If they've given themselves a name, yeah, and you know about them, they're not a secret society. Yeah, it's just chicken feed. Somewhat true but useless information for you to peck on and mislead you and keep you away from going anywhere near the top of the pyramid. Anyway, let's go back to Exhibit A, yeah? So here we are. It's being admitted to us, and we've got the little symbols in there. The double cross, that the British had sent over, if we read here, Britain last night sent troops and high-tech weapons to Ukraine in a bid to thwart a feared Russian invasion. In a clear signal to Vladimir Putin, 2 RAF transporters flew badly needed missile systems to Kyiv's forces. Troops are aboard the plane and will remain in Ukraine to teach their counterparts how to combat Russian tanks. Defence Secretary Ben Wallace said the deployment came in light of an increasing threatening behaviour from Russia. Up to 100,000 of Moscow's troops are stationed along the border, sparking fears an invasion could be days away. The Kremlin insists it has no plans to attack, but the build-up of its troops, tanks and artillery pieces suggest otherwise. Warning President Putin against what could be a very bloody war, Mr. Wallace told MPs the UK is providing a new security assistance package to increase. And then obviously it goes on page 4, which I haven't got on me right now, page 4. But nevertheless, this, in my opinion, is pure bullshit. This was the Ghost Legion flying into Kiev to set up the theatrical events and deception that would be the Battle of Kiev. Yeah? Simple as that. What did it say here? 2 transport planes. So that would have been 2 of these. Yeah? The C-17 Globemasters, 2 of them, which would have been more than enough ammunition and specific equipment to create the illusion of a war happening on the city of Kiev. All you would need is one of these, yeah, an MLRS, a multi-launch rocket system. This one particular here is a HIMARS, high mobility artillery rocket system. Very, very pinpoint accuracy. I think this one is up to 80 miles from the target. So it doesn't even have to be inside Kiev. It just has to be on the outskirts of Kiev. Like the name suggests, it's highly mobile. These are specifically designed to fit on the back of those Globemasters. Yeah. The Globemasters land. These roll out, fire, go back on. Yeah. They can actually fit on the smaller Hercules airlift transport plane. I think they have to deflate their tires or they have some sort of hydraulic system. But yeah, man, they can even fit on the small ones. So fitting onto the larger Globemasters would be a piece of piss. They only carry 6 missiles, but it's very, very quick to reload. And, you know, how many actual missiles landed in Kiev? 10, maybe? I think there was 10. I'm talking about the initial days of the Battle of Kiev. Maybe 10 actual strikes where missiles hit an empty building and it gave regular folks something to film. We're going back to smoke and mirrors here. The rest was just smoke bombs and illumination rounds and the training rounds, which are like fireworks. One of these, howitzer, this particular one here is an M777. I think the range is around 40 kilometers, maybe 20 miles, where it's accurate. But like I said, man, this would only just be firing, smoke rounds, illumination rounds, and the dummy rounds, the training rounds are basically just a giant firework. So they still behave in regards to trajectory and speed as a highly explosive round, but when they land, or their fuse is set so they land, so they go off above the target, it's like a giant firework. You've got to remember, this portion is only about scaring the shit out of the regular folks that are in Kiev. Yeah? So when they look out of their high-rise buildings, they can see flashes in the distance and they can hear the boom boom. Yeah? Because this makes a boom when it fires. It will also have a secondary boom when it lands. Or when the fuse goes off, which is above the city like I just mentioned. But talking of sound, another thing would be this. What they call an LRAD, long range acoustic device, also known as a sound cannon. I'm sure you guys know what this is. It's basically a very advanced speaker system that can project noises and vibrations and sound waves in a particular way that can make it sound very close or very far away. It can be used in deception. It can be used in crowd control. In this case, it would be used to overlay the sounds of war across a city. Distant gunfire, yeah. The distant sound of a helicopter, the distant sound of a fighter jet, and, the odd explosion here and there, yeah? Easy. Now, I will at some point do a very thorough video, and I'll call it something like How to Hoax a War for Dummies, where I'll go into specifics and I'll draw maps and everything about how you would use these very basic weapon systems and audio systems to hoax a war upon a city. So let's do a recap of this video, yeah? This is what I'm calling Exhibit A. This is the smoking gun, yeah? The British military sent over 2 transport aircraft over to Ukraine, yeah, way before the war actually started. Well, not way before, we're talking a month before. Plenty of time to prepare, mark out all of the targets within the city of Kiev. Yeah, things like empty buildings, empty car parks, empty play areas, all this kind of stuff. Mark out all the empty fields that were around Ukraine that were strike points that could obviously create the illusion of war. Yeah, this is what I'm calling Exhibit A. Because this video's gone on quite long, I'll do Exhibit B in a separate video. But just to recap, this would be the 2 transport aircraft. I'm pretty sure you could fit 1 howitzer, 1 multi-launch rocket system, 10. I mean, that's just a rough number. I don't know. There could have been maybe 2 of these and maybe only 5 of these. Sound cannons. Yeah. Long-range acoustic devices. And, of course, the appropriate ammunition to carry out this giant hoax over the city of Kiev. Yeah, that could easily fit amongst 2 of these. Now, don't forget, the British military have had a presence in Ukraine ever since 2014. Yeah, Operation Orbital, I believe it was called. So Britain and the British military, and especially the intelligence services, have been sticking their claws into Ukraine since 2014. This is what the sneaky British military do best. They help you fight your war while at the same time helping the enemy of that country fight the war. They play both sides. Of course, as well as the equipment, for the Battle of Kiev, all you'd need is one of these, and shitloads of ammunition. Like I said, I will do a video maybe later this week exploring other kind of weapons that would be very, very useful depending on the type of city and terrain when it comes to creating the illusion of war, hoaxing a war and deception and all of this kind of stuff. Yeah, I've just given people a very, very brief presentation here. I'm sure some egghead will probably point out that these are American bits of kit and that these are the supposed planes going over are British. You've got to remember, when it comes to the Ghost Legion, they don't belong to any nation. They have a black budget and they're in black ops. Then the whole business of covert operations. Imagine, if you will, Operation Gladio on steroids, that's using the biggest espionage network in the world, which would be the British espionage network, as a way to move around. So they can move around through NATO, they can move around through the Americans, they can move around through the Russians. Yeah, they're embedded everywhere. They're a clandestine force embedded through every nation. Yeah? So they're a no-nation Ghost Legion. That's why I say Ghost Legion. Yeah, because they don't have a flag. And their whole job is creating the illusion of war that the actual nations, such as Ukraine and Russia, at the lower levels of the pyramid, believe is real and then consent and participate in the actual war itself. And when you participate and believe in the illusion, you make it a reality. Yeah, this is the fundamental basics of illusion warfare. Of course, as well as all of this, you would actually need the Ghost Legion foot soldiers themselves, yeah? Highly trained individuals that know how to use all of this stuff. Now, where do these guys come from? I imagine they're recruited from all over the world. Or perhaps they're kind of like... And, I might lose a few people here. This is where it gets very, very woo-woo. Perhaps these fuckers are just grown in a fucking lab. I'm not joking. I'm thinking like in Star Wars, you have the clone troopers. Yeah? These kind of soldiers that are grown in a lab. Clones that are grown in a beaker. They all have the same face because they're all a clone of the same guy. And, yeah. We just don't know. And maybe they're raised from birth to be these ghosts, these ninjas, these Kuroku, which is like the black-clad guys in Japanese theatre that run around and move all the props and set dressings. You know what I'm talking about. Perhaps they're given some kind of crazy belief system and religion from birth to look down upon all the other humans that believe in atheism and Abrahamic religions. We just don't know. Yeah, and this is all what my content is about. Yeah, we are hunting down the Ghost Legion. We are hunting down the Double Cross. A lot of people speculate, or whether they're joking or half joking, that I'm actually in the Ghost Legion myself, or I'm an ex-member. This is, of course, ridiculous, but I do love all of these mad rumors that go around about me. It's just fun, man. It's fun to hear it. So yeah, I will do another video separate, because this one's gone on a bit about Exhibit B in regards to the Battle of Kiev. But I hope you enjoyed this video. We live in a twilight world. There are no friends at dusk.